Everyone, today we have some bittersweet news to share with you all. The gaming and theory mastermind, Matpat from Game Theory, has officially announced his retirement from YouTube. Join us as we reflect on the incredible journey of one of YouTube's OG creators. As the news broke, many YouTubers took to social media to express their thoughts and memories. It's touching to see the outpouring of support and appreciation for Matpat's contributions. Let's take a look at some of the heartfelt reactions from the YouTube community. Here comes Lwig.
Today's a sad day on YouTube because we're saying goodbye to one of the GOATs. Matpat has announced his retirement from the game theorists. And he talks about how the work-life balance has been less than ideal and he's devoted the past 13 years of his life to game theory and he wants to start doing new things. And he's going to still keep having game theory running with new hosts. And it's kind of cool because there will be 4 people replacing what he used to do by himself, which just shows how much of an institution he was. Now, quick aside, this is just a little conspiracy theory. This was his 666th YouTube upload. I feel like Matpat wouldn't be someone to not know. And also, even Matpat is still making stuff.
Like, for instance, I have a lo-fi mystery series that I think you're really going to dig. It's basically like if you took a lo-fi channel and applied an ARG narrative to it, it becomes lore-fi.
But I think the reality is that when you start becoming a YouTuber, you have the dream of wanting to become a YouTuber, you just throw shit at the wall. Whatever it is, whatever creatively you are good at or you think is funny or fun or helpful to the world, you just keep doing it. And eventually, if it works out, something sticks. I don't know what it is for every YouTuber, but, you know, Matpat had game theory. And I think at a certain point, YouTubers realize it's a bit draining. Because what is it all for, right? More views, Lwig, more money, more fame. But what is that for? What's the point of getting more capital? What are you doing with the money? At a certain point, you're pretty set, right? I think Matpat has been pretty set for a while now. And then you end up on the obituary page of Sunny V2. Nobody wants this.
I mean, you think about it, there's only really 2 ways to step away from a YouTube channel. You either just decide the day that you stop uploading and you're like, I'm done. Or you just keep uploading videos from now until the heat death of the universe and you watch as your relevance slowly dies or your passion slowly dies.
And I agree with him. I think YouTubers nowadays saw the previous generation of YouTubers do the other way of quitting, where it is somewhat forced upon them because they kept doing the thing that made them successful and then it started to fall off a bit. I'm sure you can think of some YouTubers who did this, a channel that maybe you used to watch and then you looked up years later to see, oh, they're still doing the thing. It's just that people aren't watching them do the thing.
The easy decision would just be to carry on doing this and do FNAF Part 332.
He has a big video game analogy here. It's definitely worth watching because Matpat is a well-spoken man. But I think the reality is that he's right. You just do keep doing the thing that works. And there's not really an exact point where you are supposed to quit, right? You know, there's just a line that you arbitrarily draw in the sand. It happens even with famous movie directors. Quentin Tarantino, 10 movies. Why 10? Could be 11, could be 13.
We're not sure if you guys know about this, but behind the scenes, Matpat sold the Game Theory channel last year. It wasn't really a secret, but he never mentioned publicly about it. It was done in a hidden manner, so not many people got to know about it, and the company he sold the Game Theory franchise to is Lunar X. Next, we got the OG YouTuber, Cynical.
So you may have heard the absolutely catastrophic news that Matpat, the owner and runner of Game Theory, is looking at retiring. Now, what I think has actually happened in this situation is Tom Scott has basically started this avalanche, this wave of a lot of YouTubers realizing, you know what? I actually have a lot of money. I can live quite comfortably now. I don't need to appease the algorithm because keep in mind, the majority of these people that are taking breaks or like quitting YouTube or stepping down, they're all pushing 40. And Matpat in his video where he says that he's stepping down, he makes a very good point because a lot of YouTubers, they just kind of up and quit, hopefully at their peak, they make a big event about it like he's done, or they just keep uploading until they don't enjoy what they do anymore and they lose relevancy. I think it's very safe to say that one of the saddest things you can see is a YouTuber that used to get loads and loads of views and then they're still uploading in current year and they're pulling in like 1 to 2% of the views that they got at their peak. It's just sad. There are a lot of YouTubers that have been up and quitting, but I think with Matpat, that has really affected people the most because he was, you know, as much as people love to meme on him and rib on him, he was a cornerstone of YouTube. He was incredibly connected. He would do collabs with huge YouTubers, like for example, Markiplier. Now, what a lot of people don't know is his first promo, or basically first ever Game Theory, was 12 years ago.
We have created Game Theory, gaming's tangential learning experience.
There it is.
Pop the weekly video
there
into
it is.
your web.
How is he not? His voice is exactly the same. He just hasn't changed. Now, in the video itself, Matpat is obviously 37 right now. He's pushing 40, and he originally started Game Theory when he was 18 years old. And you've got to keep in mind now, like Matpat has a wife, Stephanie, he's got a child as well. Like the background away from YouTube is getting incredibly busy for him. But despite all of that, the most important part of the video is the fact that he self-admits to be a Skibidi Toilet fan.
I think I'm like the only 37-year-old out there who has an unironic appreciation of Skibidi Toilet.
It's just crazy how someone that was one of the cornerstones of YouTube is now basically, you know, retiring in kind of a semi way. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not going to sit here and cry and get emotional and be like, I'm going to miss him so much. I tune tuned in to watch every single Game Theory notification gang, notification squad. You know, I never really, I'll be honest, I've never sat through the entirety of a single Game Theory video, but I knew of his existence. I'd click on some of the videos and then realize that I wasn't the target demographic and clicked off them. But you still need to appreciate how much time and effort this man, Matt, has put into this. He has built an empire, an entire empire, which is insane. He has built a career so big that he can actually step back and still generate income. He can still generate a fan base, an audience. Matpat is going to be one of the last few YouTubers with an incredibly strong core fan base that is actually retiring, because I feel like now you're going to have this kind of flash wave of people that blow up overnight and then they kind of vanish and you never know what happened to them. But Matpat, he has stayed consistent. Sure, he's had some cringy moments, you know, like but Matpat, I do wish you the best. It's insane how much you brought to the YouTube community.
Even though we know Matt is stepping down as the host, it is not the end, because there's still about 10 Game Theory episodes remaining that Matpat is going to write and host in. Next, we got Charlie, aka moistcritical.
Massive YouTuber is also sailing off into the sunset. Matpat.
It's not clickbait. On March 9th, I will be hosting my last Theory episode.
March 9th will be a dark day in YouTube history for sure. It'll probably be a day more sad than June 6, 2006. Matpat has built something incredible. Matpat and his team have had an influence on the platform that I don't see ever disappearing. They have truly left their mark on the actual culture of YouTube. Not just through the Game Theorist, it's a lot more than that. They have multiple other channels that they have successfully grown, like Style Theorist and all of that. But more so than just extremely popular channels, they've integrated their brand into content that is completely separate from their own. For example, I myself will often reference his catchphrase, "That's just a theory," or, "Well, that's just my game theory on it." That's not something that you can artificially manufacture and brute force. That's just organic love for your work. So even if you're someone like me, who's not the biggest Five Nights at Freddy's enthusiast, I know, get all your booze out of the way, throw your tomatoes, shoot your spitballs, I get it. I'm not the biggest Five Nights at Freddy's fan.
It's just us. There's no one else in the room, there's no teleprompters, there's no nothing. It's just the way that this whole thing started. It's a conversation between us.
It's a very emotionally charged video, as you would expect it to be. This is his life's work, pretty much, and he's making the extremely difficult decision to step away from it. I want to just mention here that the way he presents this, I also found to just be super genuine and heartfelt. And I really got the same vibe from Matpat's video here as the Steve departure.
I don't love late nights. I don't love the fact that Steph and I have been work first for over a decade when I was his age. He also probably knows the FNAF lore better than I do, which is a problem that I should probably address at some point. But honestly, I want to be able to spend more time with him.
Pretty reasonable explanation that every other creator has also shared the sentiment of. Spending over a decade with this breakneck pace to keep creating and keep pushing new content and bigger, better content, it's left him in a state where he's ready to maybe not do that anymore. And he's in a fortunate position where he doesn't have to. He can take a step back and start to get some extra hours of sleep every night. And the other big reason is just wanting to be able to spend more time with his family. The Theorist brand is on fire right now. So he wanted to go out with a really positive legacy while still at the very peak and take a more passive role. Now, he's not completely disappearing and vanishing from the internet or content in general, but he's not going to be the host or anything like that. He's going to be working more behind the scenes as well as making IP. I wish Matpat and his whole team nothing but the absolute best going forward.
On a side note, have you guys seen Matpat's face when he started Game Theory 12 years ago? Because this is what he looks like now. This man has not aged a day. We don't know what skincare routine he is on, but we need it. On a more serious note, Matpat retiring from YouTube started a conversation between some of the OG YouTubers on how they have also been creating content for 10+ years, and some YouTubers even seem to throw hints at their own retirement, which fans just did not take very well, as you can see by their reactions. A lot of fans felt like Matt's retirement video gave similar vibes to when Steve from Blue's Clues quit from being the host to pursue college and gave his last speech. And lastly, we got TommyInIt sharing his support for Matpat.
Matpat's quitting.
On March 9th, I will be hosting my last theory episode, at which point I'll be handing off the channels to someone else.
Oh, bruh. Bruh, Matt.
We now have a top channel
to be fair,
4 different
that is a lot of
articles that are
theories.
completely different.
To be
And
fair,
no other
that-
YouTuber really has ever been able to do it to that.
What about TommyInIt, Tommy Outit, Tommy Vods, and Tom Simons, Matt Pat? Booyah! Just wait to hear about Channel Nutpig. 5.
It was also the year that I got to host the Streamy Awards, and it
sick,
wasn't
my
cringe. I mean, to be fair, the Streamy Awards are always a little bit cringe, but it was the right amount of cringe.
Yeah,
When
no, you're right, Matt Pat.
pull up the-
Now, this is just a theory, people.
At the end of the day, it's just a game theory.
That right there, that is incredible. And that's the note that I want to leave on.
Oh, Matt
That's how you
Pat,
just know it's
man.
the right time. All of those reasons coming together.
Maybe the end he's gonna quit and go, this whole video is just a theory, not really quitting, and it's all gonna be fine.
This is both
He
of
works
what I'm
hard, doesn't he,
saying
Matt Pat?
is
Do you know what I mean?
coming from
I'm not being
someone
funny,
who-
but a lot of YouTubers just do not work that, like, you know, I mean, it's cool, but you record maybe one video a week for a few hours. This is fucking work, reviewing all this. He works hard. He does deserve this.
Research
Absolutely.
it. I've been
Sorry,
doing
if anyone's
it.
doing the chat, by the way, I don't usually react to stuff, you know. This is a rare TommyInIt occurrence to just sit and quietly watch YouTube, but this is a video for the ages, you know. We can't.
Reach out to me. Every single one of those people who stopped me on the street, it's an honor. Right?
Yeah, it's annoying when you stop me on the street.
It's interesting.
Gets right on my tits.
Because of this whole transition. And he is so honored to be a part of your life.
Not worth it. Oh, okay.
To have been a part of helping you
Stop
grow
talking.
and helping you experience the world.
Oh, mate.
And he looks forward to seeing you at the next event.
Oh,
And
Matt
if you see him on
Pat.
the street, we'll hang out. And hopefully he brings you cool, fun gifts. I know this is going to sound cheesy. And I know the internet will
doesn't matter.
probably break me over the coals.
No, we won't.
Or
Let's all just agree we won't, because it's fucking Pat.
I love you guys. I do.
Matt, when you say it, it doesn't even feel odd. It feels, I feel,
We're not
you
just
mean it.
members. And for everyone I talk to, what I've done for you is special. It's special.
I love you guys. Go to TommyInIt.com. I'm coming to America.
When I was in middle school,
Sorry, Matt.
I think we've been able to achieve something great here.
Yep.
You have taken me on the wildest, craziest 13-year ride of my life.
Oh, man.
I'm so grateful. So, Grandpa
We're
Pat,
grateful
can
for you,
sign
Matt
out now. A big family reunion celebration. Then I'll go off to my little shack in the woods, my retirement home down in Florida. And
Oh, they're going to Florida, Matt Pat. No, come on.
Anyways, remember, it's just a theory. A game theory. Thank you.
Do you know what he should do? Do you know what he should do? He should do one theory where he goes, it's about gay people, and he goes, it's just a theory, a gay theory. Like, oh, Matt Pal, I want to give you a hug. Oh, that was lovely, Matt Pat. That was absolutely lovely. Wow. Wow. That was a really, really well-made last video, Matt Pat. That was lovely. And you know what? If I was watching you all the time, Matt Pat, I would continue watching your channel, man. You know, you really expect, well, your mate who's worked on it for 10 years. That's fucking sick.
All right, that will wrap it up for this video. You can subscribe for more content like this.